Georgie, I want to make sure you're doing. Yes, you're here. That's where you want it, right? Is that for you? Because I'll put it wherever you. I think it was that or a. What the other? That one. Okay.
So I'm just supposed to come up at 5 and just stand here and wait until it's my turn to sing?
That is outside of my pay grade.
What?
That's outside of my pay grade. I'd ask you live.
Yeah, no, that's what he said.
Okay, then sounds good to me. Let me put the C back to A. Okay. And are we doing it twice through?
We're doing it once through and we're just ending it, nothing fancy.
That's it. No improvising.
Yeah, can we run it just once?
Of course we can. You kidding? Of course we will. So I'll give you some kind of intro.
Test 1 2.
He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. You know, can we do it a little bit higher? Just go at me. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Yeah. Try it. Let's do it a little bit. Okay? Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Do you think it should be a little bit faster? Yeah. Little bit faster? Yeah. Yeah. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Yep. Yep. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Putching.
If it sounds slower, just pick it up. I'll follow you. Cool. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. What are you looking for? Let's see. All right. Okay. We want to find a Christmas tree to sit on, like you want. I got it. There's got to be some. You got the pedal. I got the pages. Yeah, it was. It's like the sixth. This one. This one. That one where I got the. No, that's I got plenty of time to pick it up. So I think you just wanted to start. Like I'll just give you the chord and start. Yeah. Okay.
handheld mic or the depends where it goes. That's me. Sorry.
Like here, I could just go to 5 chord. I think every time I'm on the one. Yeah, oh, I see. You know what? That's a. Oh, that's true. We gotta get back to C. Yes. Yeah. So we need to go back to C. I can do that. Okay, so let's say here. Yeah, probably. Let's see. Oh, you're ending there, right? Maybe. Let's try it. Yeah, because it's offertory, so and it'll be a lot.
Page kind of was hard. Is there one that you want me to do instead?
No, just I think it was the last page. I don't know why. Yeah, I just didn't.
But you want to be responsible?
I can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can spare hand.
I can do that. Yes, okay. So let's work on that transition. Then you come back, I think, just right here.
Yeah.
Just like this, kind of
Yeah.
like this. You'd be like repeated that.
Okay, so where do you want to start? You want to start at the top of the page or something?
Sure.
Okay. Ready, go.
Or we could make this a second ending. We could do, let's see, I could just do that and you come.
Sorry, I was thinking about something up here.
Okay.
Let's
So I'm not saying that's better.
This is the first time.
We could make this
Just
like
tell me what you're going to do. I'm not
we could make this like a first ending. And I'm just
right
gonna go,
there?
yeah, and then I'll
Okay, and then the first page here is the first page. Okay, so that's an easy flip back.
let's try it again
Yes,
from there.
that's great. That's great.
And
Okay.
going back.
Ready, go.
We probably better be clear that we can, whatever amount of lighting there's gonna be, we need to know we can read it. So what amount of lighting is it?
Because I'm going to take this during silent night. We don't need.
Can we
Let me
practice
find
a
the
little
second
with
one.
just this, just to make sure this works, right? And the lights will be off.
Take your time. Lights are going to be like low, like
Can
where it
we
was.
do it like that for just a
Well,
minute?
they're trying to figure that out, so I don't have any. I don't have an answer right now. It will be lower. It will probably be as dark as it was.
Okay. So it's twice. Do you feel like, do you feel? I think so, yeah.
It does seem like maybe I should do a lot of pictures. And I'm okay. If you're busy, then
Okay.
unless you reach for it.
Yeah.
But I love this. That's just perfect.
Yeah, it
That's
works
just
well.
perfect.
That works well. It makes it more
I love a
interesting.
good modulation. It really works.
This essentially makes it. Well, it's not second actually.
I have to
It's
practice
just
the organ.
repeat.
I want to practice the organ for a minute.
Okay, that'll do. I think that's okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're only ever looking at one page at a
Yeah, we're
time.
good. We're good.
Eli, I just want to check the organ for volume. Oh, Alan, can you throw me up the book? The Kindle that has Joy to the World. I think it's the one on your piano.
Oh, okay.
The piano. Your piano.
That one, okay. Oh, the bells.
this back to?
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
To the Unitarian Universalist Church of Lancaster on this beautiful Christmas Eve. I'm so glad that you're all here, and I'm especially glad that there are some children here with us too, because this service is especially for you all, so welcome tonight. Tonight we're going to hear an old story, so I want us all to put our good listening ears on, and we'll figure out what's going on in the story. And I know that there's some characters out there that work in the story, and we'll have them come up when the time is right. First off, our call to worship are these words from the gospel writer Luke. He says, "In the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent by God to a town in Galilee called Nazareth, to a young woman engaged to a man whose name was Joseph. The young woman's name was Mary. And Gabriel came to her and said, 'Greetings, favored one, God is with you.' But Mary was much perplexed by his words and pondered what sort of greeting this might be. The angel said to her, 'Don't be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God, and now you will bear a son, and you will name him Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High, and God will give him the throne of his ancestor David.'" Let us worship together. Our opening song is in the gray hymnal. You can find one near you. We're going to turn to number 245 and stand and sing "Joy to the World." Please rise as you are able. Number 245.
Joy to the and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the earth, now gladness reigns. Let hearts their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat, repeat the sounding joy. No more let sins and sorrows grow, nor thorns infest the ground. Let righteousness its glory show, as far as love is found, as far as love is found, as far as love is found.
Please remain standing for the lighting of our chalice. In Unitarian Universalism, the chalice is our most central symbol, and so we light it at each of our services. For us, it is the light of hope and of truth. It is a beacon of peace and of joy. And most of all, and especially tonight, it symbolizes love, the love we have for one another and for all of humanity and all of creation. I light our chalice this evening with the words from Howard Thurman, who was one of the 20th century's great theologians. He says, "When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among all people, and to make music in the heart." Please be seated. So welcome again to this Christmas Eve service. It's great to see all of you here. And I just want you to just participate in this service in whatever way works for you. A lot of us come from a lot of different places religiously, and it's Christmas Eve, so we're going to stick with the Christmas story, but know there's all kinds of different places in this story for you to imagine yourself or you to rethink it. And of course, we'll be building toward that magical moment at the end of the service with Silent Night. So I want to do a safety demonstration. So what's going to happen at the end of the service is George and I will come and we'll get some fire here from the chalice, just like this. And then we'll come down the aisle and bring it to you. What you do with your unlit candle is you put it toward, you keep the lit one straight up and down and put the unlit one toward it, just like that. And ta-da, and then pass it on to your neighbor. We're going to stay seated for Silent Night because it's just a little bit safer to do that. But other than that, I think those are all the instructions that you need. Again, welcome to church on this Christmas Eve.
The journey to Bethlehem. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea to the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged and who was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for her to deliver her child. And she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in bands of cloth, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn. We'll now be singing number 246.
O little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie above thy deep and dreamless sleep. The silent stars go by, yet in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. For Christ is born of Mary, and gathered all above. While mortals sleep, the angels keep their watch of wandering love. O morning stars together proclaim the holy birth. Let praises ring from God, they bring goodwill to all on earth. How silently the wonder is made known, when God imparts to human hearts the gift that is our own. No ear may hear that coming, but in this worldly din, when souls are truly humble, then the dear babe rests within.
Now, I know there's a Joseph out there, and I know that there's a Mary out there. Who has the Joseph and who has the Mary? And there's also a donkey that they came on. And if there's some confusion about who's who, just ask one of the adults near you. So let's have Joseph and Mary and the donkey come forward, please. There's Mary. There she is. Let's put her right in the middle there, inside her little stable. That looks good. Go. And there's the donkey. Let's put him right there next to them, because he was tired. He had a long, long ways to go, so he gets to rest there. And there's Joseph. Let's put him right in there. Good job. Now, it said that they got to the manger, and then in that night, the baby Jesus was born, and this is how that magically happens. In the next reading, we'll hear about angels and shepherds, and I know that we have a shepherd out there somewhere, and that shepherd can make his way forward after we sing, when we're hearing, actually, angels we have heard on high. But let's hear the next part of the story as it goes along. In that region, there were shepherds living in the fields, keeping watch over their flocks by night. Then an angel of God stood over them, and the glory of God shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people. To you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is the Messiah. This will be a sign for you. You will find a child wrapped in bands of cloth and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly hosts, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in highest heaven, and on earth peace among all people." We'll have the singers and the shepherd come forward. Excellent.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why these songs of happy cheer? What great brightness did you see? What glad tidings did you hear? Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. See him in a manger laid, whom the angels praise above. Mary, Joseph, lend your aid, while we raise our hearts in love. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo.
When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go now to Bethlehem and see this thing that has taken place, which God has made known to us." So they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph, and they found the child lying in a manger. When they saw this, they made known what they had been told about this child, and all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds told them. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all that they had heard and seen. So we now sing The First Noel, number 237.
The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. They looked up and saw a star shining in the east beyond them far, and to the earth it gave great light, and so it continued both day and night. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel, and by the light of that same star, 3 magi came from country far to seek a king was their intent, and to follow the star wherever it went. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel.
Now, there's a lot of journeying in our story. We heard about Mary and Joseph and the donkey, and they journeyed a long, long way, maybe even a couple of days to get to Bethlehem. And then there were the shepherds who were nearby, so their journey wasn't quite so long, but probably took them a couple of hours at least to walk over there, right? But there's some other people in the story that have the longest journey of all. Do we know who those are? They're following a star, and we know them as the 3 wise men. I suspect that there were some wise women in the party as well. They usually don't get the reference, the due that is needed, because, men didn't, they didn't really travel alone in those days. So, but there are 3 wise men out here, and I think that there's a very fancy camel hanging out somewhere in this congregation. So let's bring those forward as we hear this next part of the story. Go ahead and bring it on forward. We'll get everybody set up, and then we'll hear the story. You can just put it right here. That's great. All right, there's one of them. He looks great. There's the second one. And the third one. Excellent. All right. So let's listen to this last part of the story. In the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise ones from the east came from Jerusalem asking, "Where is the child who has been born the King of the Jews? For we have observed his star at its rising and have come to pay homage to him." When King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him. And calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet." Then Herod secretly called the wise ones and learned from them the exact time when the star had appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word so that I may go and also pay him homage." When they had heard the king, they set out, and there ahead of them went the star that they had seen at its rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then, opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they left for their own country by another road. Let us sing just one verse of We Three Kings, and it is number 259 in the gray hymnal. Number 259, we'll sing the first verse only.
Bearing gifts we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of light, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us through this perfect night.
I invite you to settle in for the homily. Don't worry, it's not too long. Once again, we gather around the manger on Christmas Eve to see there a newborn baby that embodies our greatest hope. Once more, we gather to witness an amazing birth in a humble stable. Once more, we marvel at the beginnings of such a daring and prophetic life. For like the people of Nazareth and Bethlehem and Jerusalem long ago, we too live in a world that is far from perfect. We live in a world that is too much at war, including war exactly where our story is set tonight. We live in a world with too little justice. The Christ child born among his people is a powerful symbol of God's love for all of humanity. The story tells us Jesus comes embodying God's care and compassion. His coming honors the birth of children everywhere. Tonight is a symbolic night, a night of wonder and amazement. It has the power to touch our hearts. Its purpose is to make us see again how hope can live in a broken world. The story of Jesus takes place at night. It happens to a young couple who has traveled far from their home and must take refuge. For us, the city they are in is unimportant. It could be London or Rio or Beijing or Detroit. Likewise, the season of the year matters little. The night is dark and still. a relief from the busy day. In an occupied land like ancient Palestine, night comes as a relief from the difficulties of daily life. Night brings rest and quiet. Darkness stops most activities for humans and for animals. It was into this dark night, the story tells us, that Jesus was born. From the darkness of his mother's womb to the darkness of the manger stall, the child of hope and light came into the world. A few years ago, I went to see The Black Nativity, a play by Langston Hughes at the Paramount Theater in downtown Boston. I had known about this play for a long time, but I had never seen it. With an entirely African-American cast and jazzy music, The Black Nativity tells the Christmas story in a way that gave me new eyes to see it. Half theater and half church, The Black Nativity has powerful singing and drumming and dancing. For me, the most remarkable scene in this pageant was the one where Mary goes into labor and gives birth. Now, usually we just kind of gloss over Mary's delivery on Christmas Eve, kind of like I did. I just sort of chucked the baby Jesus into the manger right there in front of you. But none of us are fooled about what those hours were like, especially if we ourselves have ever given birth. Luke says, "While they were at Bethlehem, the time came for her to deliver her child, and Mary gave birth to her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in the manger because there was no place for them in the inn." Presto, Jesus, born in an instant. Well, not so in the Black Nativity. For 15 minutes of the show, Mary is in painful, ecstatic labor. The dancer playing her alternated between leaping joyfully in the air and bending over in pain. As drummers kept a steady beat in the background, Mary planted her feet squarely apart and pushed. It was not a quick process. We in the audience were witnessing a birth. We could feel the pain of her labor. We were worried for her and the baby. As the tempo of the drum sped up, Mary finally emerged with the child in her arms. The audience was stunned at seeing the Christ child being born for what felt like the very first time. There's a temptation on Christmas Eve to cocoon ourselves into this strange old story. There's a temptation on Christmas Eve to sing familiar carols and hear the old words without letting them in too much. We love the beauty of an old church on Christmas Eve, surrounded by family and friends. We will soon light candles and sing Silent Night together. But what if we opened ourselves more to the hard parts of the story? How then, like Mary, might we be more resilient, more ready to give birth? That the Christ child is born to unlikely people in an unlikely place under difficult circumstances is no accident. His mother, young and pregnant, his father forced to travel with Mary to a distant city, shepherds barely making a living tending sheep in the hills, King Herod, a puppet king, frightened and suspicious, the wise men following a strange star, knowing not where to, and all of ancient Palestine living under the brutal Roman rule of Caesar Augustus. This story should not have turned out well. It should not have been remembered all these years. It is precisely because of the adversity Mary and Joseph faced that we are talking about them tonight. The hard parts of the story make it stick. What I wish for us tonight is not that the difficult things of life might be magically taken away. I wish that we might have the courage to face them. What I wish for tonight is not that life be easy. I wish that we could help one another when it becomes hard. The Christmas story invites us to see more than angels arriving with good news. It invites us to walk each slow and labored step with Mary and Joseph from Bethlehem to Bethlehem. It invites us to feel the chill of the night air with the poor shepherds. It invites us to search from place to place to place for lodging. And when the only shelter available is a cattle stall, it invites us to give up all pretensions. The Christmas story invites us to sweat in the dark those long, fearful hours as Mary's child leaves her body to breathe on his own. It invites us to hear his first cries, to feel his mother's relief, to understand his father's concern. Life is not easy. It always requires work. And all of life changes us if we will but let it. Once again, we gather around the manger on Christmas Eve to see there a newborn baby that embodies our greatest hopes. Once more, we gather to witness an amazing birth in a humble stable. Once more, we marvel at the beginning of such a daring, prophetic life. Tonight is a symbolic night. Tonight is a night of wonder and amazement. It has the power to touch our hearts. Its purpose is to make us see again how hope can live in a broken world. Let us pass on the light of that hope and that love to each other and the world. Amen. Tonight we have an opportunity to be generous. On Christmas Eve, we restock the minister's discretionary fund, and even though it's got a big, funny, long name, it actually is just the fund that goes to help people. It goes to help folks within the church and outside of the church. If somebody needs prescription medicine, if they need dental care, if they need new tires, if they're behind on a bill, they can simply get in touch with me and I will help them to the best I can. So I invite you now to look in your wallets and your purses and find a $20 bill or two and bring it out. The baskets will come through the congregation, and this is your chance to replenish the minister's discretionary fund. And if you have not brought money with you tonight, you can give money all year long and I'll happily accept it. An offering will now be gratefully received for the minister's discretionary fund.
Holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sun, glory stream from heaven afar. Heavenly hosts sing Alleluia. Sleep in a heavenly peace. Sleep
As you leave this beautiful sanctuary tonight, carry the light of this flame in your heart. Carry this story that you have heard, maybe for the first time, maybe for the 100th time. Carry it in your heart, knowing that it is a story of hope and of love, that even in a cruel world, light and life and hope and love can be born again and again and again. Go into this season of joy and wonder and wish one another a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, everyone.